you know, back in the day when you used to stream, uh,
Okay,
well, I could say that about myself as well. At this point, it's been 2 months.
we're both retired old men.
Yep.
Like,
Why was it that we were seen as two peas in a pod? Do you reckon?
I think we're both British. Actually, I know that we're both British, and
You
I think
think?
that, yeah, that is an indisputable fact. And I think that I think it's no more than that. To be honest, I think it's just like we were in a few of the same discords and such, but
Hmm.
it was like I don't know. But I can think of a few people who we were kind of interacting with that didn't get associated with us so much, but they've long since dead.
Like
Rest in
who?
peace.
Like who? Who are we talking about here?
Noyaka, God rest his soul.
Oh yeah,
Ethan Squared, God
Ethan
rest his
Squared
soul.
Live. It was, wasn't it?
Ethan Squared
I
live.
think it's now Ether or something. Um,
Does he still stream? I don't know.
from time to time, I think I'm in the following. Um, but I remember it
Oh,
was
I've turned
us
off
four.
every single live notification on my Twitch. I think there's like two people,
No, I
and I
think I
think one of
just
them's Eddie, and it's because Eddie streams at such a weird time for me that it like I could never be bothered to go on and turn the live noti off. So you're welcome, Eddie.
is that a you're welcome, or is that I'm too lazy to treat you like
No
everyone
comment.
else? Okay.
You like everyone else. Not segregated the man.
You have.
I have. Yeah, no, I have.
Who else
Just
is
about.
segregated?
Sorry, Eddie. What, excuse me?
Anyway, I just remember back in the day, I obviously started this relationship that we have um, by joining your chat for a chat gets a stream one day, and I clicked on the name. I distinctly remember clicking on LawnLaw and going, "What a stupid name." Uh, who puts law and law? I honestly didn't know if it was law and law or law and law.
People still
Um,
don't. People
people's,
still they don't know whether to. They meet me in person. They don't know whether to say oh law or lawn or
but I
whatever.
guess the end's not capitalized or something like that. I don't know how you would distinguish
Yeah,
that
some
if
people
you
say
were.
like yeah like law and law if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
that's what I was getting at.
Okay, got you.
But yeah, I didn't know. But I remember playing in there and going, "Oh, he's British. Let's see if I can dox him." And you were pretty happy to dox yourself and say that you were where you were studying and stuff at the time. But
Yeah, I was at university
mhm. North
and it
Wales.
was yeah Bangor represent. It was I think it's pinnacle of COVID, no? Or like just after.
It was. I don't
Was
know.
it 2021?
21, I think.
So it'd been like just come to the end of
Hmm.
lockdowns and stuff like that. But I remember my first memory of you, my first interaction, I think, was I saw you in a few chats, and then I ended up in a VC with you
Hmm.
and some
Oh,
other people. And I didn't know at the time you're British, but basically, for some reason, when it's like random online people, I get very hostile with British people. For a while, I don't know why. I just like British people annoy me. So it took me like well, it only took me like that VC session, but then I was like, okay, he's fine. But I don't know. I feel like I was annoyed by you very briefly, which
most
is
people are.
better. Yeah, fair. I'll
Okay,
take it. I'm
I'm allowed to say it. But why have you stopped streaming? I'd say.
it's just kind of I'm past it. I'm not. It's not. It's not a. It's not dead and buried. There's a
Hmm.
possibility that it's back. At the minute, my Wi-Fi is pretty inconsistent,
Okay.
and I feel like I've always done GeoGuessr. I mean other stuff as well, but like I'm really not into GeoGuessr at the moment. It's like so much effort. Every now and then I'll play it like with my brother, like off stream and some of his friends. But
Hmm.
it'll just be like all the weather spoons or
Yeah.
like some very niche map or something. So it's like I don't know. I mean, never say never with GeoGuessr, but I mean streaming's definitely. I'm definitely going to stream again at some point, but it's
Would it
just
be
I don't
consistent?
know. I mean, I feel like you've told me this before, but like it's very difficult to like once you start not streaming, it's very easy to just continue not streaming.
Hmm.
I'm sure that's what most GeoGuessr streamers know as well, is that it's so easy to just completely stop and like I don't know. I had so much less to do in terms of my actual life when I streamed.
Yeah.
So now it's like I don't know. I'm significantly more employed. So
But like, if you did come back, would it be like a consistent 3 time a week thing, or would it just be a I'm gonna go live when I want, like sort of like what you're
it'd be
doing now, but just a bit more frequent?
it'd be when I feel like it, but I guess more frequent. I've promised a 24-hour stream at some point.
When you move into your
That
own place.
yeah, which is possibly depending on the Wi-Fi situation in
Hmm.
like August, September 2025. So there's potential
Okay.
for a 24-hour stream, but I don't know what I'd do because again, I don't know how much I'd want of that to be GeoGuessr, and it depends if Wi-Fi works. So
Hmm.
I'm not
But
sure.
I am similar in that vein in terms of I've sat here and wanted to click go live multiple times over the last 2 months or however long it's going to be. Um, but
Well, you've
whenever I
missed a
go
few
to do
watch.
it, sorry.
You've missed a few watch-alongs.
To be fair, some of them have had very valid excuses. It's like I've been working or I just can't be bothered. And then there's other excuses like tables are getting put up next to me, which are actually probably more valid than I just can't be bothered. But
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch a stream if it was someone stacking
no.
tables like
There's like a full-on dining room table sort of thing like put up next to me. It
it's
was
kind of a banging stream idea
just
though.
over there.
You should have done it.
I should have
Be
done it
just
on my
you
own.
on your own IKEA assembly stream.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should buy a
Yeah.
place and set up all the IKEA furniture on stream.
You should let chat buy all the IKEA furniture
Yeah,
and then set it up on stream.
not a chance. I know what chat's like.
Oh, you would end up with some choices.
But yeah, it's been a couple of months, and despite the fact that I want to go live, I just can't. Like, every time I go and sit down, I'm like, I'd rather just not. I don't want to play GeoGuessr, and if I do want to play GeoGuessr, I want to play without the pressure of people who are clearly better at the game than me. Um, uh, just judging me. Like, even if they're not, even if they're encouraging me and being like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're doing well, you've done that, that's quality, it starts to feel a bit patronizing at some point. So,
I mean, I kind of get that, but you're significantly better at GeoGuessr than me at this point. Like, by I'd say by
mm,
quite a way. So it's like, for me, streaming GeoGuessr, it was always like, I think the landscape's changed over the last few years, but it's like there was a point where, apart from the odd one or two people, it didn't feel like I was being heavily judged for every single thing I did. It didn't feel that much pressure. And now, because I guess it's a lot more competitive, you have like, yeah, I have those people that I enjoy still like talking to on stream, but a lot more of the like normal kind of GeoGuessr helping people, or they feel a bit more judgy. There's also the other end of that where if I have someone like Blinky in my chat, I actually feel zero pressure from Blinky because it's because I feel like the average good player when they're streaming and someone like Blinky or I don't know, let's say RC or whoever's in chat, they're going to feel a lot of pressure because they're considered good. So they don't want. They're probably like, oh, Blinky's going to be talking to Nadia and saying, oh, look how bad this guy is whenever he guesses badly or something like that. But with me, if someone like Blinky's in my chat, I'm just like, well, he knows I'm terrible. I feel zero. I feel there's nothing I could do that could surprise him. While there are some people who maybe slightly okay,
there's
okay,
probably there's
yeah,
there's probably a
yeah,
couple of
okay, yeah,
things.
yeah, like UK on South Africa or something. But like, there are some people lower down in the geosphere that's still better than me, where it's like I still would feel a lot of judgment. I think.
No, I get it, especially on the Blinky note. That guy. Um, no,
What's
I
going on
enjoy
under that
play. No,
beanie?
I enjoy playing with Blinky. If that's a lie. I enjoy Blinky personality, but in terms of playing GeoGuess with him, I can't. It just like he knows too much. He's too quick with it. I feel like there's no point in me being there, which
Yeah,
which will
but
probably means
formats,
95% of the people that are playing with him feel the same way.
that's kind of fair. We've played other video games with Blinky though,
Yeah.
and it's very fun to play with. But I actually quite like it. If I'm in a Bullseye lobby and like Blinky or someone utterly ridiculous is there, for as a streamer, I can switch off my brain and just like let those rounds roll for like
Yeah.
hours.
I'm a cutter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You immediately, whatever country you think it is, cut it in half with a big circle, let them 5k.
Yeah. I mean, I can scan a little bit, but if I'm streaming, it's immediate turn to chat and be like, "What's going on?" I don't care about what's going on. This is for them.
Exactly. This is for them.
This is for them. I've been bullied into actually starting a Bullseye lobby. You can play it. I'm gonna try and interact, but then everyone in chat is then playing Bullseye, so then I don't get any interaction. So
That is true. That is
it's a bit of a
Bullseye a little bit.
catch-22.
Mm.
But yeah. Speaking of GeoGuessr, though, what a segue that was.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Flawless.
perfect. Didn't even bring attention to it. We've been to both World Championships, we have to say now, together. Shared rooms, us two and Rowan. Why are you letting us down this year?
Oh, that is yeah. I'm severely disappointed in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to go to Denmark. Have you seen their breakfasts?
I was there the last time you saw them. I'm being forced to go back.
And we know Danish people, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
they're not a hit, to be honest.
No.
But no, I'd love to go. Unfortunately, I'm very much out of holiday with my work. I'm moving flats that weekend. It's my birthday that weekend. There's a lot going on. So I'll if it continues to 2026, I'll
Mhm.
go in 2026, but 2025 is not for me.
What are you saying? Why wouldn't it continue?
I don't know. I don't know what their obligations are with various oil states and any backing or lack of backing they might.
I mean, there's a few more to hit up, so you never know.
Yeah, what's the most rogue one they could
Um,
like GeoGuessr 2028 regional brought to you by South Sudan.
hey, it's like the newest country in the world, isn't it? Is it still?
Is it anymore?
Is it?
It's definitely. I feel like it's like a 2008 kind of country.
It definitely. I was gonna say 7. So
Ooh.
2008 is up there. It's a strong contender, I'll say.
Well, out of the years that
out of all of the years that could
Yeah.
possibly be, I think 2008 is a strong contender.
I'm trying to think what other countries. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I think it also hinges on if Kosovo is recognized or not. I feel like Kosovo might be like 2014. It depends.
I mean, I don't think
Either way,
it's from some certain parts of the world, at least. But then,
yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to host a GeoGuessr tournament there anyway. So
I mean, I've heard they're big into esports, both of them, South Sudan and Kosovo.
Kosovo probably is, to be fair, because I feel like that area of Eastern Europe probably is quite. You get quite a few esport people from like.
But why wouldn't South Sudan then?
I feel like I just haven't heard much of the esports sphere in South Sudan.
You need to tap in.
Or
it's
even
massive.
Or any of like Northern Africa, actually. Maybe Egypt. Surely Egypt has some.
I feel like Morocco's got some. I know at least one Moroccan caster in Siege or West Coast. Well, you said north.
Okay, buddy.
I know my geography to some degree.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do, but outside of GeoGuessr countries, it starts to go down and down and down. And then Africa's just got so many countries, it gets even worse and worse and worse. So whenever I'm doing there's like a Spork quiz where it's like all the countries, and I used to do every single one back in like I guess like GCSEs kind of age, so when I was like 16 maybe, and now it's like I can get all of them aside from like one or two that I usually just forget about in like the Caribbean kind of
Mm-hmm.
area. Sometimes one or two around like between Australia, Philippines, like your Fijis or your Nauru's, you just forget one, and then it's always just like so difficult to memorize all of the African countries and get it right every single time.
Yeah, I never was that big of a nerd. Um,
Okay, buddy.
no, I
You've been to siege majors in person.
and get some majors. World championships.
Which is worse?
I
Which is
think
worse?
I think the both.
If you were to like talk to someone on a date and you were to tell them about both of those things,
I'd be like,
I
sorry,
think
I've
the
got a
siege,
girlfriend.
they would be like, "Sorry, I've got a girlfriend."
No, I would be
Oh,
first
okay.
of all.
Well,
Just put that one out there.
in this
Oh, okay.
hypothetical, you're single
Mm-hmm.
because I don't understand how you're not single anyway. I've met your partner. She's lovely.
I mean, continue. That was a good one. I don't know why you stopped there.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I'm just not
which
putting as
one's a
mean as.
bigger nerd? GeoGuessr.
I think Geoguess is a bigger nerd, but I think someone would have a more like visceral reaction once they understood what Geoguessr was and what Siege was to Siege.
I don't know. I feel like Siege is like in that same scope as sort of like CS and all of that, where it's like you've got a
Yeah, but
shooting game and you expect that to be like CS and COD and all that. You expect that to be like an esport sort of type thing.
yeah,
Whereas
but
clicking Google Maps, I don't think they normally people.
I think they
When
find
I've
that
been
interesting.
explaining it, they've gone, "What the hell are you even talking
Yeah,
about?"
yeah. No, and I've
So,
also tried explaining it to like coworkers or anyone like that, and they don't understand the concept at all.
mhm.
But I still think in terms of like how which one I'd be more like put off by, I think it would be the shooter. As a normie, if you're a normie, if you're not into like video games at all.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a normie, so I like my brain is just not seeing it in that light. I can't. To me, the first-person shooter is more of an esports thing
Oh yeah,
than.
no, for sure. Yeah.
So that's why. So I can't get my head past that point to then think
Mm.
like a normie. Um, but yeah, no. But speaking of normies, we went to TwitchCon together.
Oh my goodness, excellent segue again.
Thank you.
Um,
I didn't want to bring attention to it that time, but
so weirdly, well, not that weirdly. So I got a text from my mum yesterday. This is a
mm-hmm.
true story. This is true. This is an
Okay.
inside scoop.
Law.
And she sent me just a text out of nowhere, just being like, it was a photo, and it was from it's from my aunt who's currently in Rotterdam, where there's
Oh, TwitchCon's
TwitchCon in
going
a
on this
few
weekend.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, who knows
I mean,
when this comes,
it's
it
it
will have
was
been
this
long.
weekend before we're recording
Yeah,
this, even though it's gonna get released in
um,
like 4 weeks or never.
6 months. So yeah, so it's just like it was like a sign being like TwitchCon Rotterdam. Oh my god, TwitchCon Rotterdam. These dates. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Must be the pollen. Um, TwitchCon Rotterdam. These dates to these dates, and I just find it funny that there's this like associate. We went to TwitchCon in what 2022.
Yeah, Amsterdam.
That's Amsterdam, and there's a weird. Somehow, my aunt has it stuck in her head that I went to a TwitchCon
Mm-hmm.
and she's remembered that, and that is enough of a defining factor about me. I
Mm-hmm.
must be the least interesting man on the planet. That she has then sent a photo to my mum to send to me of TwitchCon, but we did go, and it was okay. I much preferred the GeoGuessr stuff, like events
Oh
we've
yeah,
been to.
I've
But
not been
like,
back since. I think that says a lot.
yeah, it was all right. I think it is interesting that we saw quite a few very very famous Twitch streamers,
Mm-hmm.
but like both at the time, obviously because it's TwitchCon, but like I feel like I kind of knew nothing about Twitch really. I just went for the culture.
Yeah.
Um, you went for the red light district, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And like since it's not that I've started watching these people, but I know I'm more aware of who they are. Like, oh, okay, we saw like Hassan. You know?
I don't even remember.
Oh, I did. He was like very tall.
I met Esfand. I
Yes, you
got
did meet
multiple
Hassan.
pictures with Esfand. One of us wearing the same clothes. Like maybe if I find it, I'll put it up on the screen. But like, uh,
I was called a soy boy in front of like 7,000 people. Um,
by who?
huh?
By who?
By 7,000 people. It was
Oh yeah, Canute.
yeah. How do you not?
It was
Yeah.
Canute, and you were kicking the football. And
Yeah, who I believe is quite controversial these days. I don't really know.
I
I know
don't know.
nothing of Canute.
I don't tap into most big streamers, to be honest with you.
But he's like, yeah. I can't believe you didn't remember that immediately. That is like,
I
it's like
mean,
a core memory for me, and for you, it's just a, oh yeah.
well,
It's like, oh, he was called a soy boy by who? That happens every
yeah,
weekend.
genuinely, I was like, was it Arsman? Was it Benedict?
Yeah,
Who was
true.
it? Was it Timo?
No, JTMO represent.
But the one I remember was when after I had queued up to meet my old friend Talia, who didn't remember
No,
me.
of course. Yeah.
Um, you were then talking to the people you'd met in the line for who was it?
In the queue. It was.
Yeah,
Oh, it was RT game.
RT game or whatever. And then you were talking to them afterwards, and Benedict and I were stood there waiting for you, and we didn't know where you were, and we finally spotted you. So then I just wander over to this group of people and go, "Oh, there's my little gamer boy," and I, for some reason, felt absolutely no social anxiety in that moment. Probably because we're in TwitchCon and I knew everyone was going to be as awkward as I was. So then, I don't know what pressure that put you under, what kind of anxiety that put you under, but I thought it was hilarious.
It's never haven't spoken to any of them since. That's no, it's actually fine. No, I actually have spoken to a few of them since. To be fair.
Mm-hmm. But no, it didn't put them off you, despite me embarrassing you like a father figure.
No, actually, in 2023, I went on I think it was like a week-long road trip of Scotland with one of those people and a few other people. So
I do remember that.
surely, yeah, you were there. You were there, obviously.
I was there.
We had you on FaceTime the whole time. So surely, without you deeply embarrassing me at every single turn,
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't have happened.
Who do you think's more embarrassing, me or you?
As a person, me, but like as a as someone with the capability to embarrass, it's you.
Um, yeah,
Do you not agree?
yeah, and I actually fully agree with that. Actually, that was
Like,
well broken down.
yeah, thank you. Like funny little walk, like all sorts.
That's burned in my head. The fact
It's
that was it?
yeah,
No, we weren't in Copenhagen. We were in
it was
Copenhagen,
Copenhagen.
and
Wait, was that the first? No.
it was Copenhagen when I'd gone with Owen and Jack, my friends, separately, and then you had met Benedict earlier in the
I
day,
met,
and
yeah.
then we were waiting on the corner under a street lamp, obviously, and then you were on your way, and I was turned around. Oh, there he is. That's his funny little walk, and Owen's latched onto that ever since, I think. So
Owen latched onto a lot of things that could be called bullying.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, that was actually why I don't want to go back to Denmark. Well, not that specifically, but yeah. So I met. No, so my end of it was, yeah,
hmm
met up with Benedict, and then went through like the train from the airport to the city, I guess. And it was like the first experience with the Danish language. And we're like me and Benedict are sat there, and we're going through, and the first station is called like Christiansberg. And
hmm
Benedict goes, "Look, Danish is stupid," and he like points at the sign and he goes, "Listen to that," and or something like that, and we just hear like, "Da da da da, Krebe," and it's like
yeah,
you have
Three Bear.
you've changed it from like 4 syllables into like
hmm
1.5,
But
and then they get offended when you say that like their language is the silly one.
I think everyone can agree that Danish is the worst language.
It might be Dutch.
At least, I mean, I can understand somewhat a Dutch person, like even though it looks like silly English at times.
Mm.
Um, it looks like it makes sense, or
You can
like the way
understand
they
how
speak
how
it
it came to be.
looks
Yeah.
like how they write it, sort of thing. Danish is I don't know what's going on there. But no, I'm actually quite looking forward to going back. I preferred Copenhagen over Stockholm. Uh,
Copenhagen's really nice,
so
but
I
there's like I don't know. I think there's like other places I'd rather go as like cities. Would you not rather go to a different country than?
I mean, yeah, but I think as a if it's like first time people going to a GeoGuessr event potentially, like my girlfriend Amber's going, um, I think it's a nice enough city. It's an easy enough city to get around, and it should be nice. Shouldn't be too busy unless Ed Sheeran's playing 4 concerts that weekend. But no, I think it's really easy to get around the metro system from what I remember, and then just walkable as well. So I think it's a
Yeah, it was
decent,
very walkable.
location. Expensive, but a decent location.
Yeah, but like as long as they hold it in like the Nordics,
Hmm.
it's gonna be pretty
I mean,
expensive.
saying someone coming from London, it's it's all expensive regardless. Um, but no, are you
We should
any
hold it.
tips for Copenhagen for anyone that's going to the World Cup? I say
Ooh,
World Championship this year.
has it always been called the World Championship? Did they call
No,
it the World Cup originally?
yeah,
I
the
was
last
gonna
two
say
years
it
has been.
has been the World Cup because
Hmm.
you said World Championship when you started talking about
Oh
it.
yeah,
You were like, "You've been to the last 2 World Championships," and I was like, "Have I?" I thought I went to the World Cups.
yeah. No,
Um,
I'm just trying to get with the times. I'm trying to drill it into my mind to make sure I don't make any mistakes. But I'm always going to make
what happens if you
mistakes.
get it wrong? They kick you out.
I think FIFA comes for me.
I see. Oh,
Hmm.
you think it's like a copyright issue?
I
They don't
don't
have the rights
potentially.
to the words World Cup.
I don't know, but there's lots of other World Cups, so I don't know what
Or,
the issue is.
or is it because it isn't a cup? Do you think it's because they don't give away a cup? It's like,
They gave away a trophy, didn't they?
isn't it like a more of a shield trophy? I don't
They
really
give away the
remember.
plates for like the majors.
Yeah, I remember the plates.
I know Consus lost the top of it the first year, didn't they? I don't know what Blinky got last year. I think he got a
Or maybe
cup,
it is a cup. Maybe it is a cup. Yeah, in my head, I'm imagining Blinky with a
like a
cup in his hand.
trophy, but it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
cup trophy
Yeah, yeah,
interchangeable.
yeah. We
Um,
know what a cup is.
yeah, the FA Cup. Come on, you Eagles.
Oh, come on, you Foxes. Wasn't too long ago that Leicester won it.
I mean, you also
Don't
won
get me wrong.
relegation this year. Anyway,
What did you win? Actually, don't answer that.
you were there for the parade. Don't lie.
I was there for part of the parade. That's I moved through on the Saturday. Okay, that makes it sound so much worse.
Yeah, we're gonna move on from that one.
Disgraceful that.
But did while you were streaming, did you ever feel like it could be, or like, did you ever want to make it your job at all, or did you ever want to
Um,
go down that
I
avenue?
don't think so. I think it's more of a thing of I would love to do something that I enjoy doing, such as playing video games,
Hmm.
and make a lot of money and become very, very famous. Unfortunately, streaming on Twitch at least is not the way to do that, probably,
Hmm.
for like 99.99% of people. Um, so that's not why I went into it. And then also, I'm very lazy. So whether it's like Twitch or YouTube, even if I'm doing reasonably okay with it,
Yeah.
it's a lot of effort to keep doing stuff. I'd argue like if you're doing it not for money or not to like make a living, YouTube is way easier because you can kind of do it as and when, and you're not having people expecting you to upload something or stream constantly.
Yeah, it's been
You're nodding. You feel
5 months
similar.
since I uploaded or something.
But yeah.
uh,
Oh, I mean, I don't upload, but like
mhm. No,
that's not my aim.
I agree. I think streaming is a lot harder to break through than making a video, at least one or two that might go viral, and then especially these days with like YouTube Shorts on YouTube and short
Yeah.
form content, it's a lot easier to push that and then try and convert that into like a long form video or even streaming or whatever than it is to go from streaming to
Yeah. I
YouTube.
mean, once you're established, as in like you see it with certain people. Like once you're established, it's good to do streams that you can then cut down into shorter length videos or clips. So I think once you're there, then yeah, you can stream and then kind of farm content off that. But to start it off with the streaming is probably a poor idea in this economy, in this
Yeah. Unless you're doing it all at the same time, and streaming is just
yeah.
like you're streaming once or twice a week sort of thing, and then you're fully. But then it's tough, especially lots of people with like full-time jobs if they get to that sort of age where they need to sort of make a living.
Yeah, I assume you would heavily burn out because like let's say I streamed today. Like I finished work at what like 5 today. I was probably home at like 5:15. Then you'd have to stream for 2 hours, or however long. Or if you were editing a video, you might be editing it for like a similar amount of time, and then you'd have to eat. And then basically once you've eaten, it's basically bedtime. It's basically time for a snooze. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah. All your free time is taken up by basically
Yeah.
a second voluntary job. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes not fun to do. It becomes not rewarding. Obviously, when you are streaming or like when you've put out a video, it still feels rewarding. But it's like I don't know. That's why it's so easy to burn out, I guess, because it's quite like the work behind it. Yeah, you just feel like you have no free time.
But no, you didn't want to ever pursue that sort of. I mean, had it just fallen in your lap,
If it happened, yeah. If I'd suddenly got 20,000 average viewers, then sure, sign me up. Sign me up for Twitch partner. But no, I genuinely don't think at any point when I was streaming I was like seriously going, oh, okay, let's keep building it like this and I can get the partner or something or anything like that. It was never like obviously having average viewers on screen, having the viewer count on my OBS or something, which I did for probably the first 2 years I streamed, destroyed me. But once you turn that off, it's yeah, you're just chilling. I enjoy like even when I stream every now and then these days, I just enjoy it. It's just like but I don't know. You still need like a active chat base to yap. So
I think that's the best bit about it is the live feedback for what's happening, and that's what kept me going for so long, even though I don't like being in front of the camera so much. When I'm streaming like GeoGuessr, I'm getting that live feedback, yes or no, or like this country or that country, or you're an idiot for guessing New Zealand on the UK or whatever it is.
That's me saying that one.
Well, yeah, there's multiple people saying that one because I do it multiple times at a stream. But I've got that, and then I swapped to like Siege or something like that because I could stream more Siege because I play that quite often. And then I'm in a round for 3 minutes, and it's not the most exciting gameplay to watch, I'd say, for like just a casual viewer.
Yeah.
And I'm fully focusing on a round for up to 3 minutes or up to 3.5 minutes or whatever, including prep phase and stuff. And then I look back, and then there's maybe one chat, and it's like, well, that was also came through 3 minutes ago. Are they even still here because I've ignored their message for 3 minutes? And it's just. Yes, I'm talking to people in game, but it's just not a streaming experience I enjoy streaming or would really particularly enjoy watching. So
yeah,
that frustrated me, and I have no idea what I'm talking about because I've gone on for so long.
I think it's part of the problem of like kind of finding your niche with streaming, as in like once you found it, once it was at a point where it was like, okay, we both kind of do GeoGuessr most of the time. Then it's kind of because in my mind, I guess the reason why I started streaming was because I was like, well, I like video games and I play a lot of video games anyway.
Yeah.
So the idea is, at least when I got my PC and started like streaming a bit more often, was that I could just play the video games I wanted to play and just stream it because you might as well. Because it's like there's no if I'm going to be playing a game anyway, I might as well be streaming it. But then, yeah, like you said, it goes into that. That's not what happened in the end.
No.
It's like I end up playing GeoGuessr, but only playing GeoGuessr on stream, not really playing it in my own time at all. And then playing all those other games that could be fun for someone fun for me at least to play, not on stream. So yeah, I don't know. I think your vibes changed as well streaming. Your When you started, would you agree with this? Your chat was like way more degenerate, and now I think you've been moderated. You've been
The woke have got to me.
the way, yeah.
No, I think when I started streaming, I was part of a community that would just say outlandish things just to say outlandish things. But like none of it was obviously meant or anything. It would just be like,
That makes it sound like you're being horribly racist, but no, I know what you mean.
I mean,
Um,
no, I wasn't.
do you
Uh,
remember when? Do you remember when I was streaming to begin with? It was like I don't know, like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. because university wasn't on because of
yeah.
COVID. So it was like 10 or 11 a.m. It was like it was like either after Niaka finished or just before Niaka started or something like that, like the 2 hours before he started. And it was like quite serious. I didn't have face cam. It was just chat guesser,
Hmm.
and it was like me just go, just like, oh, this guest is here, this guest is there, this guest is there. There was a point where you came into stream with another chatter and said the most outrageous things to the point where someone messaged saying like complaining about the overall vibe of the chat, and then I was like,
Was this the time
and
you
then
got a raid?
oh yeah, that was it. I
You
got
got a
raided
raid
by
from, yeah. I'm not going to
I don't
mention it
know
because
who
I
it
sort of
was.
remember who it was. I'm not going to
Do you
mention
remember who it
him.
was from? Was it?
I
Oh,
don't know, not the raid, but like I don't know who the
remember,
raid was, but I just sort of remember the chatter who said the
you
things.
remember the chatter?
Yeah.
I just remember that they were like, I came with the raid, but I don't like this kind of language, and I was like,
Oh
right.
yeah,
And
no.
then
We were
you
in
kept
there
doing
going like we need mummy milkers or
it.
stuff along those lines, and it was just like
Yeah,
stuff that I think you'd still expect me to say in chats to these days.
but it's the kind of thing that I think doesn't really appear in chats that often. I feel like if I said that in your chat, I get an instant timeout these days.
No,
No,
no. I mean, I'm not streaming to begin with, so no one's there to moderate you. And then, but no, if I was live, no.
I remember at the time I found it incredibly funny, and I
Uh,
still find it incredibly funny that someone has like they're like so offended by not even like it wasn't even swear words. It
No,
was just kind of gross language.
but it was the fact that it was somebody else there that I was bouncing off of. I think that's what sort of kept me going at that sort of level. Whereas nowadays, if I say something in that level, I might not get a response back or something like that. Depends on who's in chat.
Yeah, true.
Um, but yeah, no, I started and I was saying stuff like that, but then over time, it's sort of like the people that were in my chat and would like feed off of that sort of energy and stuff. I used to stream in the evenings as well, where more Americans and that community that I started off streaming were sort of awake. Whereas then I started moving to sort of more like mornings to afternoons, so they didn't appear as often. So then my whole chat sort of changed into more the European audience sort of thing.
That's true. And more GeoGuessr people. I think
Yeah.
it's like when you start streaming, it tends to be a lot of people that are like either know you in real life or yeah, I guess like you said, from like a different community of
Hmm.
gamers or whatever. And then as they slowly start to get replaced, just because you know they're not gonna constantly
Hmm.
watch. If you start streaming, you go, oh, can you check this out? They might do it a few times, and then after a while, they kind of get phased out a bit. You see them a lot less, basically, which makes sense. Like I'm not complaining, but you know who you are. But
But I'm just gonna throw this one out there. I don't think we can talk about us streaming and GeoGuess and us being like a two peas in a pod and all this stuff without talking about this person. And I want to know your favorite Bensky Wanna stream moment.
ooh.
And if you say the Indonesia 8 or 11 hour like 100K or something like he did,
No,
uh,
no, I'm actually going. Is it cheating to say a moment that wasn't in a Bensky One stream, but he was involved?
um,
But also my memory is a bit foggy on it, so I think you might have to.
go ahead,
It
say
was
what you want
it
to
was.
say.
Is it Meat Tornado?
Meat milkshake,
Meat Milkshake?
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it Mate? I don't know. I can't remember. It
it was.
was. It was us three
It was us.
co-commentating.
It was yeah. It was a little tournament, and it was like a kebab shop sign. Yeah, it was meat milkshake, and it was like a picture of a kebab on like a stick. What they called, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When they spin it at the kebab shop, and it was so weirdly like inverse. And I think I said something like, "Looks like a meat milkshake," and then I think we lost it for about
oh,
10 minutes.
I think it was in the middle of a Zigzag game too. It was the only time Zigzag played in this one tournament, and we're not focusing on him and the tournament that was gambling. It was more on the meat milkshake.
We were all just talking about meat milkshake for a while. I think it's a clip somewhere on your channel.
I think it is.
As in,
Yeah,
or it's like somehow, or maybe it's on YouTube. Maybe it's a VOD that's saved somewhere. I don't know.
it's
I've definitely seen it
probably
since.
both. Yeah.
But I would say other Bensky things, if we're going like strictly, it was nice seeing him raise a lot of money for the charity that he did that big long stream for and raised a lot of money. It was a suicide awareness one?
I
It was a
genuinely don't remember his charity stream.
Really? He shaved his head, he shaved his eyebrows or something. He was
I
like crying.
no.
Maybe just at the
Maybe I
demo.
wasn't there. I don't. I. Maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't. I don't remember.
Okay, well, okay, third
I
time's the
don't.
charm. Coin game. Coin game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Is yours coin
Coin
game?
game because there was one stream where it was whoever makes the most money on the scratch cards gets VIP. And the three-way battle Mortensen, Matt Lycan, and I had over that stream, and I think I pulled out like one of the biggest wins in like the last card that I had, and I managed to get VIP in that. That was pinnacle. Bensky won a
That's
stream for
beautiful.
me.
That is beautiful. I do think the fun of coin game was being banned and
Hmm.
then going into Discord and just seeing like 40 people that were just talking in the Discord because they're being banned in coin game.
Hmm.
Just yeah, bring it back. I think the
He's
coin
he's
games.
he gave me the license.
What did I get the license for? We were in a VC talking about this
Yeah, I
at
can't.
some point in the last few, because you were like, I got the license for coin game, and I was like, oh, can I have this? And he was like, yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't
think it was
remember.
I think it was the tournaments that were like the bait tournaments,
Oh right. I
which
think
were horrible to be a part of, by the way.
I was part. You were with like Sachi
I
and.
It was me, Sachi, and Kodiak,
Oh right. I was with
and
Blinky.
yeah, just you and
It's the
Blanky.
first time I sort of like was in the same area as Blinky. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. But we were
I
never in the
don't.
same VC because he'd always pull us because it was only two of
Oh,
us. It would only
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
be back
To
and
talk
forth.
to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least with myself and Sachi and Kodiak, it was like, but it was like you would always be in a VC with one of them, but it started off and it was quite because I think I've spoken to Kodiak before.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure. I've since met Sachi at the World Championships.
Yeah.
I think
Get it
she
right.
would. I think she would like recognize me now. But I
Hmm.
think if I went up to her at the World Championships and went, "Oh, do you remember me from this Bensky one thing?" She'd be like, "No," because I think we very briefly spoke. Me and Kodak were speaking a lot more in the VCs, but then
Hmm.
it got to a point. I think it went on for hours. It got to a point quite far in where we'd all just completely lost the will. We were. I think Kodak needed to go by a certain time, so he was like in a really not great mood, and like each time you go in a VC, it'd just be like you'd be sat there and just like complete silence, just be
Hmm.
mute. Like I don't think it's even muted. I think it was just complete silence, unmuted Discord call. It was horrible. But so thanks, Ben.
Yeah. No, he's a nice lad. Um.
Yeah, if he's alive, rest in peace.
He is. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, get him on the regular in the DMs.
I've got him some places. I can see that he's alive at times. Which is good to hear. Uh, but I think that's sort of wrapping up time. Um, one final question for you. What's your favourite race?
Not Monaco after last
No,
weekend.
I hated Monaco.
Although I am a firm believer of the cars need to change.
Yeah,
Like
they're
it's
too big and too wide.
when you see people that go, "Oh, Monaco's the problem," it's not, is it really? But maybe they shouldn't race there until the cars are better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you haven't given me a favourite race.
I mean, I should say Suzuka because I actually went there in person, but it was apparently the most boring thing ever.
Wait,
So,
you went to Japan?
oh, you know it, buddy.
I'm surprised it's the first time you brought it up on the.
Oh, you're lucky you don't follow me on Instagram. You would have been fully swamped with photos.
But no.
I would say. Well, the thing is, I don't know whether
You want to say
me to
Silverstone?
Silverstone is a banger. I think that Spa can be a banger. I think that what's the one coming up this weekend? That can be a banger. Is it?
Spain?
Is it Spain? Spain can sometimes be heat, you know.
Nah, Brazil. Brazil's the one.
Brazil. I don't know if you've ever actually played like F1, like the video games.
Yeah, I have.
So you've actually driven around the tracks.
Yeah.
Brazil is horrible.
It's horrible to drive.
It's real bad. It's like weird uphills, weird like left turns everywhere.
Especially the like the double right hander before like the last couple of corners. That bit I'm always too wide or in the grass or something there. It just doesn't work. It's kind of like the triple left hander in not UAE, Bahrain. Yeah.
I like Hungaroring as well. I'm not really naming a favorite. I'm just naming. We'll go with Silverstone.
Okay. Brexit means Brexit. Yeah. I understand.
Brexit means Brexit.
Yep.
And because I also didn't know if you meant like F1 races or like races of people. So I guess the Brexit one.
No, like, why would I ever mean that?
Because, well, just in the same vein, Brexit means Brexit. So you know what my answer to that one is. If that was the second question, if that was the
okay. And on that note, goodbye.